against you again. So Ace won. Hopefully, for their sake, they checked in with the boss man, Razak.
Do you know what's funny as well? When they had the back-to-back chicken dinners on, what, day 3, I believe it was, I messaged King and I was like, oh, you know, you played so well today, congratulations. And he was like, oh, we're still not happy yet. And at first I was like, you know, it's a really great idea of thinking about things, you know, always after perfection, but at the same time, you know, give yourselves a pat on the back sometimes. And I think today, obviously having the day off and seeing how high up on the leaderboard they are while the other teams are playing, I think that's where it really starts to sink in.
Yeah, hey, you're not happy to get that 50 grand in your pocket, all right, Alex? You're not happy till the end of this, and you get that spot. So, actually, you know, talking about King A, I messaged him earlier on today, and I was like, hey, you guys aren't playing today. What does the team do on their off day? Like, what do you do? You know?
Take Instagram selfies.
Hey, oh, we've seen those. But King A said, no, they like to do a lot of scrims, so they're still practicing. They're still making sure to put in that time, even when they're not playing. And, of course, they get together, and they watch the games, and they go over the different teams and their rotation. So even when they're not in the lobby, they are putting in the work. And, honestly, I told them straight up, like, hey, compared to scrims, this is a completely different team, and a lot of people out there definitely agree. So you love to see it, but that's enough with Loops. They're not playing here today. We're in our final map of the day. Pachinki, Tempo Storm is getting stinky.
Yeah, of course. Pachinki and Tempo Storm, both of those go hand in hand in one sentence. But what's also interesting as well here, Dave, is Grunto Esports aren't opting to drop towards military base. Instead, it's Trent Carrera who have gone towards military base. Of course, it's Nova, B4. They love to play towards that eastern bridge that Seven was mentioning on the desk. And I think what's really interesting as well, Dave, is towards that eastern bridge, we don't see so many teams here this time. Typically, Pittsburgh Knights would fight towards farm. This time they've got up towards school, right towards where Pembroke Batiste are, just north of Pachinki as well. And with that, Grunto Esports have opted to go south of Pachinki, and they've actually split up. They've actually split up all as a one piece of pair. That's well, every man for himself as they started to loot here before I imagine they group up and then make their rotation towards the center of the circle, which is fairly central already, actually.
Yeah, so it looks like a majority of the teams are going to be sending it as center as possible here early on. And you mentioned a great point, you know, the same teams always go down there to the military base, go over there to Novo. I mean, you got B4. My thought process is, though, when these circles, when they don't favor down south, you're on an elite, you like to drop Milta. Like, do you go for that bridge camp? You know, like, do you just camp it out and try to get these early kills? Personal opinion, I would. But we see the majority of the squads here, like Omen, like Grunto, they favor a centralized position over an early bridge camp conflict. So, hey, you gotta wait. I guess it comes down to how confident is this squad? Do you know you can squad wipe B4? Yeah, exactly. Like, you gotta know that you can take them out. You gotta be like, listen, guys, we're better than them. We're gonna take them out, get those 4 points, and then go to the zone. So that confidence kind of lacking here for a couple of these squads with good opportunities.
Oh, Mazexis, that is hard to catch a break. As you can see, they're just east right now of school, just south of Yasnai here in the open fields. They've managed to find themselves a bit of a compound, which they could utilise for now. But I think it was Loops that was firing off the shots there towards Mazexis, as no one else besides Team Solid is nearby. And of course, we have to mention Team Solid. They're going to be hot off the press after their 2-kill chicken dinner. Although, ironically, actually, Loops coming in second and Cloud9 third with the amazing self here from Loops at the end. And because they got more kills, actually, in total, they may have got, I actually believe they did get more points than Team Solid. But I think for Team Solid, it was more about the confidence. You know, we can win games, as that's so important to get 1 or 2 chicken dinners on the board, just to prove that it wasn't a fluke.
Not only that, these are the best teams in the Americas. All these squads have to fight to even get here. So if you can get a chicken dinner, regardless of the kill count, all right? Regardless, they got the 2 kills when they were forced to fight to get that chicken, but they outmaneuvered all the other teams in the lobby here in order to get that chicken. So, like you mentioned, huge accomplishment. Maybe this is that confidence that Team Solid need. Now they know, listen, we can get the chicken. We can get the chicken and start making some moves. Maybe we'll see them take some more engagements moving forward here with that newfound confidence.
Ooh, Trent Caretta, they've made their rotation off of the military base, just passing Tempo here, as they are now going to be entering school. Pittsburgh Knights opted to move actually out of school and rotate a little bit further towards the west of the circle, so we should be seeing them very shortly. As actually inside school now itself, you have Pembroke Batiste, just waiting to see if they can spot out one of these players who are a little bit lackluster in terms of patience if they show themselves slightly too early, but Nitsu will be knitting it in the bag this time as he sees the players here, but at this range, is it really worth giving away your position?
Yeah, and if I'm not
And he's alone,
mistaken,
Dave.
oh yeah. If you get tapped out the one tap dirt nap, you're getting sent back. You're going to detention. Your squad will not be able to pick you back up. But the one thing that worries me is where Team Carreta, where they currently are. I know for a fact the Knights have utilized this same position multiple times, and I actually think the Knights are on the approach over there just west of school. There's going to be a crate up there in the air. Maybe for the time being, the Knights will do some scouting. They'll see this vehicle. They'll be like, okay, we're not going to push it. I mean, there's still 16 teams live. We are very early on within this match. And I just want to mention here, real quick, Alex, the death, they love talking about chicken dinners. Loops, 7 points behind first place. No chicken. I'm going to let that one. What do you think? I'm going to let it sit. No chicken. 7 points.
It's crazy, really. I think if you are Loops, you're so happy with the overall performance either way. Obviously, it does, is a kick in the kidneys in terms of confidence that you haven't had that win. What happens once they do get that win? Is that the final point before they start taking a lot more games on all these maps? I'm not sure, but either way, you can't complain. First week in, and they are considered the most consistent team. That's still a feat to have.
You know what it is? They go to the buffet and they're pacing themselves. They don't want to get full. They don't want to get the big
cards come last.
Yeah, exactly. That's the strategy. I nailed it. I unfolded the mystery here.
There you go. Speaking of the mystery, Lazarus now have managed to find their way through the dirty roads of Georgia Pool and managed to get inside the fairly central part of the western side of the circle here, just next to Pittsburgh Knights to the north as well. It's Wildcard Gaming who have now come into Rothop, as Ace have actually rotated out of that as they've gone towards the eastern side of the map, just next to Loops. As here we have Team Solid right now on our screen. So for this team towards the east here, as if they do rotate further towards the centre of the circle, Dave, if that circle shifts further towards the west, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that they're going to have to cross over if they want to get inside.
Yeah, it is going to be a challenge, and one of these teams looking to make the challenge here. Alpha 7, we see right there on our screens, they aren't going to be popping out. Just a second ago, I was getting really nervous. They're riding dirty. I like to say riding dirty. When you got 3 or even 4 members all in one vehicle, that is not something you want to do. All it takes is one team to spot you and spray it down. Ooh, one member from Call 2, though, connected on from long range, Alex.
Yeah, there should be easy pickings here for Levi. Hops out, gets the M4 out, and that's an easy kill there for him. So that is now the first kill that we have so far in our final game of today. Luxy as well, going to be hit in the head by Max.
The push!
Oh, and here comes the push, but he's alone. As there is another player here for Culture inside this building, which Luxy is in, and to the left as well. It's Paolo, who's in a firefight right now with Levi. And yeah, no, it's a brilliant name. Oh, it's perfect, actually, in fact. And now Fran, frantically left alone here as his teammate Paolo is outside of the building, has the micro Uzi, close proximity here. CQB as he comes charging through. The spray, though, doesn't connect. It's an instant close-range headshot with that DMR. And now Fran, Fran, these grenades are going to be making him nice and supple, getting him ready here for the remaining players from B4 to finish him off.
Hey, all B4 needed from the scrims to now. That psychology coach. That coach must have put a spell on him. They're like, hey, take all the fights, take all the engagements. You got this. And, 2 members from B4 are going to be bleeding on out. But you know what, Alex? They wiped out Call 2. Call 2 are done for the day. Done and dusted, baby.
Yeah, maybe Omen as well shortly as they're down to 1 player who's standing. That's Angry. And right now he's furious as his team's been caught off guard. They've been caught lacking here in rotations. As he's going to have to try and revive Juicy on his lonesome because Telly and Nico have been killed. There you have it. Tennis is going to be finishing him off there. As it's all down to Angry with 15 teams left, just 10 minutes in. This does not bode well for Omen Elite.
Yeah, F's in the chat right there. Last game of the evening. Angry is just going to be, cranking that dial just a little louder to drown out the thoughts in their head right now. Just, straight, trying to listen to the radio, have a good time here, and just enjoy themselves in the final map. Hey, they can get some major placement points if they play their cards right, though. Let's be real.
True indeed. As we see Trent Carrera in the same position as before. They haven't moved for now, but then again, they're fairly central in terms of the circle. We're going to be seeing if it goes western, eastern, northern, southern, or maybe even more central. And we can discuss which teams that does favour as, Pachinki and School. Okay, well, there's no teams towards the east, so Cloud9 is safe. From that half of the map, they've only got really 180 degrees to worry about, which is the Pittsburgh Knights, and then Tempo are close as well. But towards the east here, Dave, it's a cluster.
East side is not the best side here, at least when it comes to the circle. You got B4, you got Alpha 7, you got Grunto. Tempo up there on Potato Hill. Hopefully they can get up there pretty soon and get some decent sightlines. Don't you just hate whenever your drop spot is favored multiple times here? I mean, that's what Tempo is going to be saying right now. Grunto, though, doing some investigations himself onto Cream.
Ooh, what are they going to do? What are they going to find when they split up and look for clues? It seems like one of the players already downed here from the side of Grunto. As Pmpl Batiste, they were ready for this push. They heard the vehicles coming and charging onto their compound. They were ready for the crash. And they laid down the little traps, the little tripwires. Those grenades were thrown out. Really good timing, catching players at their feet. Smoke, I believe, is deployed to try and delay time, allowing for more of the players here from Pmpl Batiste to rotate in. You can see how far away his Candor is, as it's all down to Nitsu. All on his lonesome once again. As you can see loops off in the distance, they're going to be moving past. They don't want anything involved in here, as Interlocks is coming in from the bottom. Has been spotted out immediately, though. The spikes in his helmet not really adding to his camouflage. It's a spray as well as a perfect. Another player as well from Grunto going to be dropped as it's Nitsu to try and do some damage here. And that's 2 there from him. Goes to the reload, spots out another player but can't quite manage it. As Candor, though, can he? He's towards the window, spots out as well. I'm not sure which player it is here from the side of Grunto Esports. Bucky, as he's trying to see if he can survive and try and get his teammates up, but I'm not sure, as instead the revive's going to be coming in from Pmpl Batiste. They can get that player up, go for the 2 versus 1 if they're quick, but no. Grunto, they're going to be taken out, and it's going to be them out in 13th.
What? Oh my goodness, Grunto, third partied right there. Cream will be able to get the resets right there. I was going to say, hey, if you're Grunto, you're on the first story, just, bunker down, go in a room, hang out, be nice neighbors for the time being. As long as you're not banging on the floor late at night, Cream and Grunto should be fairly solid there. But no, Cream, they didn't want to allow Grunto to remain in that compound of the apartments, because the apartments are in this actual circle. So Cream being the aggressors there, taking down Grunto. It was a close fight, Alex. So close.
Ooh, what's happening to Ace as well? They just lost 3 players, Dave, in the midst of that conversation we were having. Wasn't even sure which team as well caught the kills there, but I'm sure we'll find out shortly, as Lazarus now feeling the heat here from his DP20. And they are going to be able to revive him though. Look at the range there. That was a brilliant spray there. Some swag win, but obviously the revive can happen. They're inside safe proximity there inside the school, and the waiting continues as we wait to see this next circle.
I'll tell you what happened, Ace. They got too greedy. They tried to get into the most centralized position possible, and they were spotted by multiple people. Talk about getting into a more centralized position. The next zone does go on up. The Knight's going to be looking really good right now. Jagger with that BSS J7 on the retreat as Wildcard pushing down from up north now, looking to take the fight in the foothills over here versus the Knights.
This position is so important. Just west of school, this is really one of the only compounds you have inside the open fields here where the circle may actually commence. As Wildcard just priming themselves, getting themselves ready. It seems like they're waiting to try and theorize how they're going to try and attack this set of buildings, as they know there's a team inside of it. Although how many? And also, where are the other teams as well? As Lazarus, who right now are quite behind Wildcard Gaming for Pittsburgh Knights. There's Trent Caretta as well as Pittsburgh Knights. They have now got eyes on Wildcard Gaming.
Yeah, honestly, if you're Wildcard, I see them trying to move around. Just be thankful that you didn't get shot, that you're not spotted in your current position here. And we do see a couple teams over there on the minimap who will be approaching very soon. So if you're Wildcard, you need to be making sure you are looking to the north, because Cream, Lazarus, they need to make their push on in. I see a couple vehicles coming on in now. Wildcard, they will be tested for their spot right now. Hopefully, they're not tunnel vision on to the Knights. And yeah, okay, they're going to be recognizing the push over there from the north from Cream.
Yeah, I said east, they were just behind Wildcard Gaming, and now in their vehicles, they're going to be spotted out by the scopes here of Wildcard Gaming. Although just some slight damage to a few of the players there from Pmpl Batiste. They are going to be able to go back and be fine and reset, as you said, when you do take fire in the squads, and you can just revive and play it safe and just heal back up, get back to 100% if possible. Though, now down to 12 teams and 39 players here, 17 minutes in. And right now, the only team outside the circle is Alpha 7.
Yeah, honestly, if Wildcard, if they're blessed with this next zone, this is probably one of the best spots you can be in right now. Your only real counter right now is out there to the east where Lazarus are. But Lazarus, if they want to get any type of sightlines, they're going to have to expose themselves and crest on over that hill. That's why we see a couple vehicles actually, kind of blocking the sightlines from Lazarus. And all you need to do, make sure if you're a wild card, no vehicles approach you without being punished. Because one vehicle can pull up and they can toss some grenades and have a nice little dip. That could be the end. But if you can make sure to defend that, Wildcard are going to be looking so good, especially if they've been praying to the circle gods here.
But also, Dave, if a vehicle does come in, I imagine Pittsburgh Knights will see it first and be the ones to shoot it for them. Try and get those kill points. Oh, speaking of kills, though, Alpha 7 now down to 3 players. Not sure where it is as he is going to be down here. Has to be revived fairly shortly. Before them. Knowing exactly where 3 of the players here are from Alpha 7, and Luka Tascan here, like now as he has been revived, so he's going to be fine and dandy for now. But the question is, for how much longer? As you know, B4 an aggressive and confident team, although 11 teams left, maybe they'll take their foot off the gas for now, wait, just ever so patiently for the next zone.
Yeah, and it's always a huge risk to use cities to rotate on through to get into the new zone, because if you're not there first, you got to kind of assume that other squads are going to be bunkered down, looking through these windows, and it looks like Alpha 7 kind of finding out the hard way, but they are going to be still alive here, so they need to take down those members who are potentially going to be gatekeeping them over here in the zone. And the next circle, who's blessing? Wildcard blessing. Wildcard blessing that game, that circle.
And you said if they pray to the RNG gods for the circle, and it seems like they have. And for B4 and for Alpha 7, you mentioned rotating out of cities. I mean, look at Ace off in the distance. Look at C9 as well. Although they're going to be picking up their things immediately and getting the hell out of here immediately. But Alpha 7, then now they have to deal with the issue. That issue is B4. There's 3 players here from Alpha 7. There's 3 from B4 as well. As they're going to be trying to get away scot-free, but no. Alpha 7, they want some action here before. Eventually they have to make their own rotation, as it seems like Maxon has been dropped. Nick as well going to be dropped as well immediately as 2 of the players finish off what's left of B4. As now it's down to just Levi and Nick Zera here as Abdul, Lukatas, they come in charging, they come in with force, but no. Playing it more safe. Maybe they can just get in the vehicles now and use this as a way to pass time so the B4 don't shoot them when they rotate.
Yeah, and you remember last game I mentioned speaking to the coach of B4, and they told me that they prioritize positioning. Oh, we'll get back to that though. C9 are making the push, trying to overthrow the Knights.
There's 3 teams here though, Dave. C9 caught in such an awkward position. As Pittsburgh Knights want the kill, but actually it's going to go in favour of Tempo Storm. They're going to get the third party there as Pittsburgh Knights are the closest team to C9, and they're already gone. What?
See you later. See you later. Hey, that's a hot job. That's a hot breach right there. And unfortunate for them, it's a rough neighborhood.
Yeah, and you said, it's Cloud9 on Wrangle where they struggle. And that rotation from Beowulf is so confident. I mean, look at the zone as well, Dave. To not think there's a team inside one of those buildings is audacious. And you can understand the risk, but it did pay off this time. Maybe tomorrow is better. 4C9, by the way, though. Head into this one with 10 teams and 29 players alive. That's, God!
Irish!
From Lazarus. Irish!
The double nade!
Oh, was that 3?
The 3-pointer over here. Irish in the ghillie suit. A force to be reckoned with right now. Lazarus still with their full squad alive. Just east of Wildcard and the Knights.
Yeah, they want more. Now they're shooting off into the distance as well into Wildcard, who have this fortification here with the ridge line and, of course, the vehicles. Zexis joined by Tempo now as they've entered the same compound area, as we saw Cloud9 moments ago fail on their rush. So, Tempo, Zexis, Pittsburgh Knights, I mean, a few of these teams as well towards the edge. Criminal Batiste, I mean, Chumkareta as well. It all comes down to this next zone if it favours them.
Yeah, and Levi still healing over there in Pachinki. I was going to mention B4, their main strategy is placement points, and we saw that. They were throwing grenades at Ace back and forth, back and forth. They knew exactly where Ace, they knew exactly where Alpha 7 were, but instead, they decided to hop in those dossiers. We saw Maxon try to get in the car and just avoid the fight, and that's when they got backstabbed. You need to take that fight. You need to make sure to clear out your backhand side so that you don't get shot from the loop. There goes B4 right there. We got 8 teams remaining. Minwoo taking shots with the DP onto Wildcard right now, Alex.
Yeah, but Wildcard and Pittsburgh Knights are the only 2 teams inside this circle. You've got Criminal Batiste, you've got Chumkareta, you've got Ace down below there. One of their players there's Zero, trying to see if he can heal off in the zone and try to get some more placement points and a few more teams. Do die out quickly. As you can see there on your screens, 20 seconds left for all these teams have to scramble inside this zone. where we see Pittsburgh Knights and Wildcard, but for now, Tempo, Mazexis are the ones locked horns right now, trying to see if they can get out of this compound area.
Yeah, Wildcard, they don't need to peek, they don't need to move. They're going to be up there to the north. We saw Lazarus taking shots with the DP over there. But if you're Wildcard, all you got to do is just relax. You know, you hear these bullets whizzing over your head, you're like, oh, well, I guess there's someone that has to push out there. And yeah, Lazarus, they need to push across that field, that open terrain, right on into Knights. We see smokes everywhere. Cream right now trying to get into the new zone, like you mentioned.
Ooh, such emphasis on that, like you mentioned, is true. Let's see if this actually comes to fruition, though, or maybe it's all frivolous, as Caretta now are going to be feeling the heat from Criminal Batiste, as the grenades, the smokes, everything, the whole 9 yards, going to be thrown over to Trent Caretta. Oh my goodness, a few of the players being knocked down as well.
Another one.
Actually, Mufasa's just to hop in the vehicle, maybe going to go for the run over here in the charge, pops inside the smoke. Let's see what happens here as he's here, up close and personal, has the M4, goes for the spray, managed to connect the shots though, both these players alone, whips out the DP28.
No
There you have
way.
it. That is Kremrul Batiste wiped out when they won a wrangle in game 1 today.
Mufasa running out of ammo with the M4, doing the quick switch with the DP to get the final blows right there. 7 kills so far. They got the revives on the swag win. They are 4 up. They are looking strong. They are looking healthy as they loot those crates. But the main fight right now, who will make it on out of this southern area? Tempo with 4. The Knights trying to defend right now.
Yeah, not Mazexis, it seemed, as they managed to fail in getting out of the building. But you can see why there's so many squads right now trying to stay in for as long as possible. And then there, Lazarus, you said they have to cross so much open terrain. It seems like they have managed to do it for now. So much firefights, action going across the map seems to have worked as a diversion for Lazarus to get inside the circle, but I'm not sure how good their covering terrain is.
HH able to get a crate over here. Looks like Tempo trying to get on top of the roofs, trying to get some better sight lines onto the Knights. Okay, we're going to be sending 2 up here. Spec already up there, spraying out there in the distance on to Team Correcta.
Yeah, Lazarus as well from Tempo. Both these teams being shot at right now towards the right side. It's Lazarus towards the left side. It's going to be Trem Caretta as well, and in the middle of all of this, you've got Pittsburgh Knights who've stayed pretty quiet in all of this. They've just been waiting inside this compound and hearing all the action from afar. Although Tempo now with this elevated angle on the roof, they can use as a headshot angle. It's very easy to bob and weave your head out, gain so much information. Look at the vastity of info they can see and scout out here with this peripheral view.
Yeah, Tempo definitely going to be dictating the final zones here. And like you mentioned, the Knights just kind of waiting. They know that Tempo needs to make the push on in through here to get to the new circle. We see some grenades going on into the skylights right now. If one of these grenades from Tempo can land right on top of them, that's going to open this up. We see Rain behind the broken wall. There's gas cans. Who left the gas cans there? Okay, so it's not going to be getting anybody, but inflicting some damage onto J7.
Yeah, it might not be physical, but it's definitely emotional. Imagine the fear right now running through the boots of Pittsburgh Knights. The explosions are just going off around you. The cacophony of bullets as well being fired out by Tempo as they're taking out teams left, right, and centre just behind you. As Wildcard Gaming is struggling to handle the force run out Trent Caretta. But let's forget about that for now. As they have to get outside of this compound. They have to get inside the zone. And this is the fights that we were looking for. As in the background, Ace One in 5th. They were in 9th at one point, 1 player alive. And Lazarus as well are struggling to make their way inside the zone. But we're down to 4 now, 12 players alive. Ooh, Tempo so far looking fairly strong here. Pittsburgh Knights have lost 2 players in the midst of trying to get outside here. As Tempo have come around the side and is catching them off guard as Wildcard hit the deck as well in 4th. Down.
Yep, and Spec actually sending it, trying to avoid this fight altogether, to try to clear the path right now and cut off the snake head of the Knights. Now, same thing with HH. 4 members up. They will be looking at the entrance as the Knights need to push on out.
Yeah, there's 4 players alive for Trent Caretta, but Mufasa is down. So it's really a 4 versus the 3.5 versus a 2 from Pittsburgh Knights, who are going to be in a situation where exactly where they are. So as they push up, yeah, this is what I was expecting. Tenser, easy for him. As now it's all going to be down to 2 in a few seconds. And yeah, Pittsburgh Knights are out in a very respectable 3rd. But now it's time for the big dogs. Tempo versus Trent Caretta. Oh, whoa, what was that grenade? 2 of these players are going to be dropped immediately, Dave. Now it's H on his lonesome, and Spec goes down as well. Oh my goodness, now a 3 versus 1. All down to the remaining player here. H24 from Tempo. That's his down player as well, which is Rain. But I don't think he's going to be able to revive him here. This is a matter of seconds as Tenser is eventually finished off here. HH24 he may actually go for the reds. Those risky. All it takes is one play to cap in his peripheral vision, and he will be going down. But in a 1 versus 4, this is all favouring Trem Karate here, Dave.
Mufasa making sure to not let the stampede of tempo to make the push. The grenade was so big. Can HH get the revive on terrain and make this at least a fighting chance? A 2v4? No, it's going to be HH. One thing to note though, HH is the leading fragger for the squad. So if you do have a solo, you want to be HH. Can HH get the 1v4 right now to end off the night?
Oh, it's the zone though, Dave. He has to crawl eventually and stand up to run inside the zone before the damage is too much. And here it is. This should be the final nail in the coffin.